Welcome to another how-to video tutorial from the 982nd Combat Camera Company. In this tutorial, we are going to show you how to create an authorization using the Defense Travel System. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so you just want to make sure your name pops up there, and then you want to head over to Official Travel, Authorization and Orders, create new authorization. Now we just have to tell the system where we're going and where we're arriving. So my starting location is my residence. I'm departing on the 21st. And my trip type, for the most part, most of our trip types will always be routine TDY. Our trip purpose is most often going to be training attendance. We're going to scroll down and we are going to let the unit administrator and the DTS approval authority know where we're going and why. Like where the operation example is going to be held at is actually going to be held at our unit. So I'm going to go ahead and write out East Point or start to type out East Point. So I'm going to start to look for our unit. And as you can tell, once you start typing enough letters in the correct way, you get our unit. I'm going to be arriving on the 21st, right? I'm departing on, so I'm arriving on. It's not a long flight at all. And I am going to leave on the 23rd. Okay, I don't need a rental car. If I did need a rental car or you need one, it will be on your orders. You'll click that and you'll know exactly what to do. It's a very user-friendly screen once you hit that part. I'm not traveling to another TDY location. Okay, so this screen, we just have to scroll down and, this is how I'm returning once again. And I'm going to be leaving at 7. And I am returning to my residence, right? We already said it was the 23rd. It's a multiple day mission. There's my commercial air. I'm leaving at 7 again. I don't have a conference name. Most likely we do not ever have conference names, but of course if you do have one, you're going to know that from your NCOIC or OIC or both. So now you're just going to go ahead and click not applicable, and you are going to hit save and proceed. Okay, so here's where you would pick your flights. I'm not going to pick a flight, of course, of any importance because this is just an example. So I'm going to say that one's perfect. I like the window, so I'm going to let that stay there. I don't have a preference with seat number, so I'm going to hit done. You just want to make sure that this number is correct for you, because if you have that in there correctly, then you can go through pre-check. Okay, so now we just want to make sure that the second flight is good. And once again, it's an example. So I'm leaving on the 23rd, 7 o'clock. That one looks wonderful because it's an example. Still like the window, still no seat preference, hit done. Okay, so now that my flight is booked, the next step for me would be lodging, and of course it's an example, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the first hotel, which is usually the most expensive anyway, which is probably the best way to always go, right? Do the right thing. As you can see, whatever the current per diem rate for the location that you're going to be at is going to be listed on the top. You're going to go ahead and hit select because it's an example and that's perfect. Just a little bit of a summary of the size of the beds. If you need more than one bed, if your buddy's going with you, or you're alone, regardless, go ahead and pick that out, right? As you can see, there's double bed, single bed, what have you. It's just me on this pretend mission, for example, so I'm going to hit 1 bed, select room. Okay, so now we're at the trip summary. This is when you can just look over your trip, make sure everything's correct, dates, times, of the room number, the room number rate, things like that. So this looks good, and we are going to hit continue. And if I have any non-mileage expenses, this is where I'd put them in. If I have a hotel room tax or, I don't know, some sort of excess baggage fee, then I would click that and I would put the amount in and I would proceed, but I don't have anything, so I am just going to continue. So now we're on our mileage expenses, and same thing, you know, if I were to change my trip in some way and I needed a car, and of course the car would need to be notated on my orders if there was going to get approved through DTS. But, you know, what have you, if I was just going to drive without my flights, it's the same screen. You would just pick, you know, which type of vehicle you were driving, you know, the dates and so on. But I don't need any mileage expenses, so I'm going to hit continue. And my per diem, I will need my per diem because on this example mission that's, you know, I'm going on by myself, there are no, there's no breakfast, lunch, or dinner provided, and there's no quarters available. That's why I got a hotel, right? So, but I still want to make sure the dates are correct. Still want to review everything. This is my meal per diem per each day, you know, because they're not available for me. But of course, you're going to know that on your mission if the meals are provided or not. So that looks good. I'm going to hit continue. Your line of accounting is going to be through here, and of course you're going to know from your NCOIC or your OIC or both what that information is, and you would literally just find out there, and you would click that and you'd hit continue. And my comments to the approvee official, if I had any, they would be there. I usually put the SecDef statement in there, you know, the justification of why I need to travel to, you know, to this mission. I would copy and paste that there. If you need help figuring out what that is, we can share that with you in another tutorial, or I can send you a note, or I can just include it in the bottom of the notes of the YouTube channel video. So now you just scroll down, make sure everything's correct, and everything still looks really good for this mission. Getting excited, hit continue. If I needed to make another authorization, if I was making like multiple trips, I would put it in there, but I'm not, so I'm just going to hit continue. It looks like I do have a code, which I'm glad that this came up, because 9 times out of 10 you won't have anything. You won't have any flags, but in this instance I have a flag, which is great because it's telling me, you know, you forgot your line of accounting, right? So now what I'm going to need to do is go back to accounting, and just for the, you know, the sake of this example, I'm going to pick the very first one. I'm going to hit continue, right? So once again, I'm reviewing my trip. Continue. So I don't have any flags, so yay, we're getting ready to sign. Of course, you know, this would be, you know, any kind of comments I had. If you actually have your orders with you at this moment, then you can add them now if you go into expenses, and that'll take you to substantiating records. And this will take you to a screen that's going to let you browse, because more than likely your orders are going to be saved on a desktop in your computer. And if they're not, that's what I recommend. It's just easier to find that way, whether you get it from email or you scan it. So there you go. I have my orders, operation example orders. I'm going to click them on. There it shows up. I'm going to make sure it's uploaded into the system. So of course you need your orders when you travel. I rename, especially if I have more than one document that I'm putting in for various reasons. And then once it's changed, I have to hit Save Notes. And continue. And continue. And once again, we're at the end, reviewing everything. Everything looks good. Continue. No flags. Continue. And the very last step of creating an authorization is submit completed document. But I'm not going to go through that step because, you know, operation example is just an example. But once you hit submit completed document, you are going to have a screen that's going to ask for your PIN number from your card. Once the document is signed, then you know your unit administrator is going to see it for approval, and you know that the DTS approval authority is going to see it. And that concludes this tutorial. Thank you.